Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day is for you. My name is Justin Kewl and been a whole host of names. I've done this topic last year, well, almost exactly a year ago. But some recent videos have inspired me to, retread the discussion. Unreality is the very worst term we can use to describe Quadratum's reality. It is shortly followed by a world of fiction, and I want to point out, last time I did this, I didn't script it out. I had a whole bunch of handwritten notes I wanted to get covered and left it at that. Today's going to be formatted and scripted. First, let's talk about the language some characters use. I want to start with Hamlet. At one point, Hamlet's mother says to him, "Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted color off, and let thine eye look like a friend upon Denmark." What she's saying is simple: stop mourning your father and open your arms to embrace your nation. Black being a color that you wear at a funeral, and throughout the play, Hamlet has not been looking upon the nation or the new king very kindly. We're going to go to Shakespeare once more with Romeo and Juliet. What's Montague? It is neither hand nor foot, no arm nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be so some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Most people know that last line, but often forget what precedes it. This is the language of prose. Well, technically it's verse because it has a rhythm and a rhyme to it that I probably butchered, even after multiple takes. I mention it because things aren't described as straightforward as they could be. So, when Mom is talking to Luciu about the foretellers, Luciu and himself, he sounds like it's an affront that Luciu did not consider Mom as a part of the seven. The words he uses is that of an author, not a scientist. When he says, "a world I can't imagine, a world of fiction," it is the best way to describe how he knows how to describe it. Yeah, I know I used that word twice. And who knows? He could have been lying to the darkness that he was having a conversation with. But no one ever in Kingdom Hearts ever lies. When we talk about the reality of Quadratum, or at least at the time, he acts as if it's not real because he can't imagine it. And I challenge you to imagine a world where something is so fundamentally different from our reality, and then tell me how you would describe it using our current vocabulary. It's not as easy as you might think. There's a part B to this, and this is the language of Ansem the Wise, Diz, but for the rest of the video, I'm just going to call him Ansem. Ansem views things from a very scientific framework, so he uses technical terms as best he can. When he sees a reality that is fundamentally different, he thinks of it as an opposite. Anti-reality doesn't sound good like antimatter does. So we talk about things not being real, we use the word unreal. Thus, the words he uses is unreality. It sounds better and it follows common grammar rules as well. This isn't to get into whether or not he believes it is, but merely the language he used to describe it is a scientific manner. It is not a language of prose. It is not a language of verse and rhythm. It is as cold and scientific as possible. Now, the second part about this discussion is whether or not they actually think it's a world of fiction. The catch is simply, we don't know about Mom. The Master of Masters doesn't really elaborate. So we see him say it, but we never see him follow up with the discussion. But Ansem, we can actually deduce his framing of the situation, and it's mostly pragmatism. Pragmatic, however you want to view that. A really good example of pragmatism is I personally don't believe we live in a simulation. How do I justify this belief? There is no real evidence to support that we do. So from a sensible and more important, realistic point of view, there is no supportable reason to believe that reality is one giant matrix-like simulation. Most people, this includes Ansem, believe that they are real. This is a scientific view, as they can interact with the world as we currently see it. Ansem more than likely has a similar frame of reality. He is real, so if another reality that exists, it would be the opposite, so it'd have to be unreal. The point of pragmatism, this is a point of pragmatism and philosophy. I think, therefore I am, therefore I must exist. Ansem seems to believe that he is real because of all the previous information. Finally, since I like to do topics in threes, let's talk about Nomura himself. This comes from a translated article from VGC Video Game Chronicles, and Nomura is quoted as saying, "From source perspective, Quadratum is an underworld. He uses a fictional world that is completely different from reality. From the point of view of the inhabitants of Quadratum's side, the world of Quadratum is reality, and the world where Sora and the others were is the other side, the fictional world." Something worthy of note with this translation, while the trailer uses the word afterworld, which I think is a better word, Nomura is directly translated as saying underworld. But that could be a translation thing. I don't want to get into it. Now, I want to be clear. I checked KH13. It doesn't seem to have this part, but an article on digital trends goes on to say, from the point of view from the inhabitants, the world of Quadratum is reality, and the world where Sora and the others were on the other side is the fictional world. I looked through a lot of articles, and they all have the same quote. They all state this comes from the Famitsu article back in, I think it was April of last year, of 2022. The reason I mention this is multiple sources on this, because there are multiple sources that say this. And one of those themes is perception. Now, if Nomura or someone from the Square Enix team really wanted to combat against that particular quote, they probably would have come out already. And two people on two different sides of a divide between reality or realities would view the others as being unreal, fictional, fake, or whatever word you want to use to describe it. Look, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. One of the big reasons no character has been shown to outright lie to Sora, with Lushu being the exception because he had to do it to hide his identity, that means up until this point, we have no reason to disbelieve anything anyone says, no matter how ludicrous the statement is. But that doesn't mean people or specific individuals haven't lied. However, before I want to end this video, I want to point something out, something that's important. And it's about Ansem the Wise. Was Ansem the Wise about being right, about being able to contain a heart? And what was the consequences of his experiments in Kingdom Hearts 2 when he tried to do exactly that? With all that said, I hope you all enjoyed this comment. Leave it below if you want to see some more stuff like this where I go over my old theories. I think I'm going to continue doing it either way. I think some of my old ideas need to be retreaded. Bring it up to more current ideology and maybe re-examine some of my own biases going forward. With Missing Link coming out soon, I think that some of this stuff might be a more prevalent thing. Although we don't know an actual date when Missing Link's going to be launched, whatever. I really hope, once again, you guys all like the video. And before I depart, I'm going to say the thing I always say. Well, no, I don't always say it, but please, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I really want to know what people think about this. This is one of those subjects, and by the way, I'm off script now. This is one of those subjects that I really, really feel passionately about. Of all the theories, some of them crazy, some of them reasonable, of all of these theories, there is only one that I say I will back until the end, and that is this one, that unreality is a bad term. And I have a feeling that that's going to be the case. We're going to find out that both realities are real and nothing more. And I'm going to quote the Gummy Phone here. I will not be humble when it turns out to be true. I am going to be an outright belligerent jerk about it. And I'm not joking. With all that said, I am going to actually close it out like I normally do. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day it is for you, and may joy be to every last one of you.